What's up, YouTube? We're here for another TEKNOnaut unboxing, and we finally have the DJI Mavic Pro. So without further ado, we're going to jump in. Alrighty. Cut away from yourself. There it is. Pretty nice box. Registration information is on the back right there. Serial number. All right, let's open it. All right, very nice. So, as you can see, we have the drone itself, the controller. Looks like all the extra cables are right here. All right, so we've also got extra propellers here, lay them there, and we get the rest of these cables here. This looks like it goes to, the power brick right there. I believe these are cables to plug into the controller. It comes with the lightning cable already attached to it for iOS devices, but these are for Android devices and such, so we'll leave those on the side here. And then I believe this cable is actually for charging the controller itself. But yeah, other than that, we got the instruction manual, and the box is now empty. So move that to the side. So we'll talk about the drone first. It does not come with the propellers on it at the top. It does come with the propellers on it at the bottom. So one of the things you want to keep in mind with this drone is it does open different ways for the front arms as well as the rear arms. So we want to make sure that we pay close attention to that. The front arms will actually open out towards the front, where the rear arms, they'll actually open like this. So keep that in mind when you are setting the drone up. You don't want to obviously pull the wrong direction and put stress on the arms. So good to keep in mind. All right, so as I said, it only comes with the back propellers already on it. It's actually very important. We want to discuss that right now. The propellers are coated differently. So there's one that has a white circle around it where the other one does not. And if you look real closely at this, there's the white circle, and this is the side that does not have it. So keep that in mind when you are installing the propellers, because you want to make sure you're obviously putting the right side on the right arm. Let's take a set of propellers out real quick. Now if you look at the propeller, you can actually see that white circle on this one, as opposed to this one right here, which does not have it. We're now going to make sure that we install these correctly. And what you're going to do is you're going to take it and you're going to line it up, press down, and turn. And you'll feel it lock into place. That one's good. Take it once again, line it up, press down, turn, and it's as simple as that. The propellers can actually stay on it at this point in time when you have it folded up and closed and put away. So that's good to know. All right, so it does come with one battery out of the box. This is a smart battery with an LED indicator that lets you know where the battery is at as far as its percentage. They run about $89, and they are pretty much easy to come by now. They were a little bit harder at first, but I recently saw one at a Best Buy store, so you shouldn't run into any issues. All right, so talking about the drone itself. The drone has this little gimbal cover on it right now, and you'll notice this piece of black rubber kind of laying over the gimbal cover. That was actually put there so you remember to make sure to remove the gimbal cover during flight, otherwise you'll be getting very bad glare. So we'll just remove that there. Now, we're going to flip the drone over real quick so I can show you this a little bit better. If you look carefully, there's this piece of plastic that's right here. This is the gimbal stabilizer. And this makes sure that the camera actually stays in a stable position during transport. You definitely want to make sure you hold on to this piece. Do not throw it out. Now, To remove it, there's little grooves on the sides of it here. Just give it a little squeeze and then slightly pull up and it pops right out. And now you can see that it's more free floating and able to move around. This is what you want to do before flight. Now, speaking of cameras, there are 2 front-facing cameras here for obstacle avoidance. And in addition to that, there's actually cameras on the bottom as well. So this is how it makes sure to avoid any obstacles that are in front or below it. There is not obstacle avoidance for the sides and the back though, so keep that in mind when you're flying. The bottom here also acts as a heat sink. All the important components such as the processor and such are actually right underneath this. That's why this piece is here. Not only does it look cool, but it works as a heat sink, so it's practical. So this is for cooling, and then in addition to that, there's actually a vent right here with a fan to help bring air in and run it through the drone to keep it cool during flight. So the design of this is very, very impressive. So as you can tell, the drone probably sits rather close to the ground. If you look at it right now, this is where it's sitting. With that being said, if you're taking off from anywhere other than a paved road or a very flat surface, you might run into issue with debris and brush and things like that. And if you are going to run into that sort of issue, you might be interested in purchasing an accessory that raises the drone off the ground. I'm going to put a link in the description below for the accessories that I recommend. So go ahead and check that out. There'll be a link there for the specific accessory to raise it up. It'll raise it up about this much, so just enough to give yourself some lift off the ground while not making the drone look overly large. So definitely good. Now, before we get too much more into this, one of the things I want to mention, and this is with any drone, you want to make sure that you register it with the FAA. Right now, registration cost is only $5. You will need your serial number, which is found obviously on the box as I showed you earlier. But if you look right here, I'm going to close this back arm real quick. There's actually a QR code as well as your serial number here. And that's what you're going to need when you're doing the registration process. Now, after you have it registered, you will be issued a registration number, and you are required to keep that registration number on the drone. You don't have to have it physically within sight though, so if you want, you can actually remove the battery and you can put it somewhere inside here. On the subject of the FAA, there are certain limitations to flying a drone non-commercially. So as a hobbyist, if you're flying your drone, you are limited to a 400 feet maximum here in the United States. So keep that in mind. From what I've heard, the DJI software paired with the remote will allow you to change that, but that is going to be at your own risk and is not something I endorse. All right, so just to have a better look at the drone and the design, it's very, very impressive. It's amazing just how small this guy actually gets down to. So once again, I'm going to fold it up, and to do so, these go in just like so. Wrap that back around. These guys go back just like so. And then you're really left with something small, and it's just unbelievable that you have such a powerful and amazing drone at such a small form factor. It's really quite impressive. Okay, so drone aside, let's go over a couple of little accessories that it comes with, starting with the AC adapter. The AC adapter obviously is to charge the battery. It has to charge the battery outside of the drone, so you will need to remove that battery in order to charge it. Just plug it into any AC outlet and you'll be fine. In addition to being able to charge the battery though, it can also charge your remote here with the included USB cable right here, as well as the extra USB port for plugging up your smartphone. So if you want to make sure that you're plugging up everything and charging it all at the same time, you do have the option with this AC adapter, so that's pretty convenient. So talking about the remote. The remote, very, very small form factor. In comparison to the Phantom series, it is significantly smaller. And not only is it smaller, but in my opinion, more ergonomic and well built. So if you want to actually take the antennas out, you just unclick them right there, and there's your antennas. They are adjustable, so you can do that if you'd like. And this right here is the grip for attaching your smartphone. As I mentioned earlier, there is the iOS lightning cable already built into it, but that actually can unplug right here. And from there, if you decide that you want to use an Android device, you can use one of these guys. Right now, this can hold up to an iPhone 7 Plus. However, if you're going to use a tablet, I'd recommend buying an extra accessory. It's this little piece that actually connects in here with an arm that comes out with a separate little grip to hold the tablet. So it holds it a little bit above you, but makes it easier if you're deciding to use a tablet on the go with it. So you'll have a larger field of view. But all in all, very, very nice, ergonomic, easy to use controller. You've got obviously the dual joysticks here. You've got the little mini joystick here for moving your gimbal up and down. You have some smart buttons for taking a picture as well as recording. These buttons on the back are actually customizable. You can customize it in the app. Now, when you're talking about using an iPad, obviously you won't be able to use the cable right here because your iPad's significantly larger. There is a USB port on the bottom of the remote that will allow you to actually plug it in there using a lightning cable, or if it was an Android, tablet, you can use, regular USB cable. So very, very nice. When you are closing up the antennas, make sure you close it the correct way. There is a correct way, and they actually snap closed. So very, very nice, very small form factor. I recommend looking up an accessory or a case online to keep the controller in, so that way the joysticks aren't being messed with while being transported from one place to another. But that's completely up to you. Aside from that, we have our instruction manuals. I don't really have much of a need to really look over it myself, but if you want to, it is there for you. So that's it. That's the Mavic Pro. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I'll be more than happy to try to reach out to you guys and answer some of those questions. The links for FAA registration will be in the description, as well as the accessories that I mentioned today. So yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm really excited to fly this, and there'll be some footage very, very soon.
Yay! We did it!
I think it looks good.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to remind you that you got a camera overhead.